Joining me now is Roland Marchal, a Senior Fellow at CNRS here in Paris and a Horn of Africa specialist. Thank you for your time. Why has this violence spiralled so rapidly?
That's a very good question. I believe over the last 2 weeks, certainly not to say 2 months, both sides were preparing for major confrontations. So plans were made, and to a certain extent, you only needed an incident. And when the incident happened Saturday, then everything went out, and the security collapsed and the fight went ahead very, very strongly. So the question certainly the international community should request is an international commission of inquiry to understand under which condition the fight started, because today in Khartoum there are rumors, and I think from people who are actually often very well informed, Sudanese, telling us that Islamist militias were there and were the ones who created the first major incident with the Hemeti troops that basically put the war on the agenda.
This clearly, however, is a power struggle between two men. Which foreign parties are supporting which faction?
Well, it's first we shouldn't forget that it is very much rooted into a political process that aims to give back power to civilians. And of course, the fight itself means that civilians once more are edged out, and therefore everything will have to be rediscussed, renegotiated, and which will allow the military faction, whoever is winning, to stay basically in charge for still quite some months. Now, looking at your questions, okay, what we see very clearly is Burhan got full support from Egypt. Despite Sisi comments that what is happening in Sudan is very internal affairs, it is pretty sure and confirmed for many Sudanese sources that the Egyptian army is providing logistical facilities to the Sudan armed forces, ammunitions, equipment, maybe weapons, and as well, I guess, eventually even special forces. On the side of Hemeti, the situation is not as good, I would say, in the sense that Ethiopia is very concerned by the victory of Egypt man in Khartoum, but Ethiopia won't have the guts to really move into military support to Hemeti. So therefore, Hemeti is a bit alone in the region. No state in the region will endorse him at this stage, which means that Hemeti has to win very quickly, or he will increasingly face a shortage of ammunition, fuel, money, and therefore may be in a much weaker position after 2 weeks than it is today.
Given what you've just been saying, are we seeing the beginning of a civil war, therefore?
No, I doubt very much. I think one of the strategic mistakes made by Hemeti was to launch this war in Khartoum, without discussing the military balance of force. What is clearly sure is that the population as such doesn't like Hemeti. Maybe for wrong reasons, we could, discuss that, but certainly Hemeti is absolutely not like it, which means that the population won't side Hemeti's fighters in the current battles. And this is strategic if you are in an urban guerrilla war. You need the support of the inhabitants, which Hemeti hasn't. At the contrary, in Khartoum, I'm not saying everywhere in the country, but in Khartoum, most of the population will endorse Burhan, even though Burhan aim is to keep power and to stay and to allow the military to manage this country, whatever is claiming on civilian rule.
Roland Marchal, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.